that Greg Jennings, Donald Driver, Jordy Nelson, James Jones, who in their second year and beyond took huge leaps and became the stars they were. His numbers, touchdowns, yards per reception, receptions, all that is in exact line with those guys. The difference is he's bigger, faster, and has a better rapport at an early age with the quarterback than those guys did. He is the legitimate number 2. There's no doubt about it. The numbers bear it out. As long as he doesn't regress. That's the only thing. Again, that you got to take out the ability of a guy not taking a step. I mean, that's obviously a legitimate thing you can worry about.
How old is did y'all draft him last year, Valdez-Scantling?
Yes, sir.
He was a rookie last year.
Fifth round pick.
Fifth round. I feel like he'll be like the Lions' 4th receiver. I don't think he had like 500 yards receiving last year. That's because y'all had a lot of injuries. Devontae
I believe it was somewhere in the 700 yards because he
had 581 and 2 touchdowns.
581. So he's just under 600. That's why he lined up with the rest of those guys. There's legitimate numbers, Julius, that back up he will take that leap because of the comparison and the rapport. And look, you guys run a different offensive system that requires, it's like the Mike McCarthy. You better have 3 legitimate starters, and that 4th guy better be a guy that can be a legitimate 1 or 2. This LaFleur system.
Who is your 3rd receiver?
You said 3rd?
Yes.
It's going to be Geronimo Ellison.
No, Kumaro.
Is it a battle going on still? No preseason for that?
Yes. Kumaro is definitely battling because of his rapport.
Oh, yeah, Kumaro.
Touchdown Jesus.
I saw that guy, yeah.
But here's the thing.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that guy.
I talk about this all the time. It's a different system, Green Bay, and I don't believe they have 6 receivers on this. I'm in that belief.
It's silly.
It's swaying a little bit, but it's a different system.
What's happening at tight end?
Robert Tonyan is making a run for tight end 1 snaps. This is a kid we picked up, and he is making a serious run at it. He's been making big catches in preseason training camp.
Is very important for Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know if y'all have had the talent y'all have there, but what happened to Richard Rodgers? Did y'all let him go?
Yeah,
he plays for the Eagles, and then I think they let him go.
Jimmy Graham, what has he been doing?
Jimmy Graham doesn't. Don't bring up Jimmy Graham, Julius. That's a soft spot.
And see, that's my question about the Packers.
I will tell
Aaron
you this,
Rodgers is a football god still, but does he have the weapons to succeed on offense?
By week 8, you're going to see the best receiving tight end, the best catch percentage, the only guy not to have a single drop his entire college career. Wrong again. He was drafted in the 3rd round by the Green Bay Packers. His name is Jace Sternberger. He has the best catch radius, the best catches, the least amount of drops, and the most targets downfield. His yards per reception were the best. He's the only tight end out of this draft class. When you turn on the tape, he high points the ball. He's catching it in the middle. He catches everything. He's not a better blocker than Hawkinson. I'm not saying that. He's not the fastest. He's not the strongest.
I'm aware Sternberger is a good receiver.
Right. So he's going to take some.
What round did y'all draft him? 3rd.
3rd. He's got to learn to chip. But I'm telling you right now, as a rookie, he's a better blocker right now today, walking off the bus than Jimmy Graham is ever going to be after he's dead. So, I mean, let's be clear about that.
Well, that's an improvement.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, come on now, give us a little credit here. The cupboard is not bare
man,
there.
I can't wait for Packers Lions.
Tight end is a legitimate. We like 2 guys there, but there's a question about Mercedes Lewis and how he's going to be used because you have not heard a dang thing about him. Nothing good, nothing bad.
He might be a surprise veteran cut.
Yeah, you just don't know. And Jimmy Graham, I've pounded the table. He's not lining up on edge. And the few times they actually experimented it during preseason, he literally looked like a 12-year-old playing professional football on the line of scrimmage. So,
and that's why I told y'all that the Lions are going to surprise people is because I heard Phil Yates say this the other day on TV when they were talking about the Lions, that the Lions are one of the few teams in the league that might not have like one positional weakness or like positional group weakness. Like we have we have a first, second, third receiver in Stone. We have a first, second tight end in Stone. We have 2 running backs,
cornerback
in Stone. We have better corners. Our cornerbacks have improved. All we had last year was Darius Slay. Nevin Lawson.
You had Slay, but who do you have a rookie.
Best nickelbacks in the league. We picked up Rashawn.
Talking about outside.
Who had a Pro Bowl season with the Colts a couple years ago. Went to the Raiders, got hurt. Now we picked him up. He's looking like our number 2 corner. Justin Coleman at nickel. Keith Tabir's come back from injury. He's fully capable now. He's about to have a really good training camp. Hey, there's still some hope for Tabir.
Slowest DB after a fast break.
He was averaging 2 picks a day during training camp before he got hurt. And so if he can come into this last preseason game, put on a strong showing, maybe he can earn a spot in the rotation. But our safeties are deep. We got Tracy Walker. We don't really have a positional group weakness. Solid special teams. So I feel like we're underrated just because we're the Lions. But if everybody stays healthy, I think we're going to surprise a lot more people than people think.
See, my biggest thing, Julius. Okay, final record for the Lions. Go ahead and do it.
11-5.
Final record for the Packers.
9-7.
Bears.
8-8.
Vikings.
6-10.
Well, that's a loaded box there, Julius. Go ahead, Dave.
Final predictions. I'm going to go out and say Packers 10-6. I'm going to go out and say the Bears at 10-6. I think the Packers edge them out in Week 15, and that gets the tiebreaker. Yeah. No, that goes to Green Bay.
You said
the Week 15 is in Green Bay. I think Chicago's going to go 10-6, run along with Green Bay, but I think Green Bay gets the tiebreaker because we end up getting both wins against Chicago throughout the season. I think Minnesota's actually going to finish last. I think Detroit goes 8-8. I think they improved from last year, but
a lot of people are picking to go 8-8.
Because that's the thing I got to pick them 8-8, man, is because of the NFL. There's always going to be injuries. I understand fully healthy. Of course, they could probably go 10-6. Yes, but the thing is, no team is ever that healthy. There's no possible way that a team gets through the season with unscathed, and it's just part of football.
Listen to this random stat real quick. Listen to this random stat from Twitter that I read. Like 5 minutes, like literally 5.
Let's hear it.
Days ago, I think. It was on Pro Football Reference, so y'all are aware of that. They come up with all like these crazy stats and stuff. But
yeah, they do the random stuff.
Yeah, on the ESPN, like every preseason, they pick like they do the predictions from all the experts. They said from the last 20 years on ESPN, Pro Football Reference, last 20 years on ESPN, all the teams that were picked to go 8-8, 53% of them finished 10 or 6 or better. 47%, 41% of them finished 6 or 10 or worse. So anytime a team is picked to go like 8-8 or 9-7, whatever, by a lot of people, like the Lions tend to be this offseason, they're either going to probably be really bad or really good, and not even finish in the middle of the pack. Because that means a lot of people don't really know don't know how to peg the Lions. Like they can't say for certain they're going to be good, but they can't say for certain they're going to be bad.
Okay,
I think Hold on. I think Minnesota ends up going my final spot. I think they end up going either 6-10 or 7-9. I just like Julius said. I don't. After watching Kirk Cousins in a Week 3 preseason game with his starters while he's playing backups, 3 of 13, 37 yards. You have a QB you're paying 100% guaranteed money, Minnesota, and you're watching this guy throw like that? Like, everyone says, oh, well, Jimmy G had the same thing in San Fran. Jimmy G tore his ACL and hasn't played in live-action football in over a year, and then he corrected it, went in the next week, and frickin' tore shit up. Well, guess what? Cousins had a good week before and then had a horrible week in week 3, which is supposed to be your rehearsal for your frickin' your week 1. So I just think Minnesota...
Michigan State freshman year.
Oh, damn. That's a while back.
Hey, what's your partner's, what's his predictions for the NFC North? I want to hear.
I got the Packers winning the division this year at 11-5, okay? I got both the Bears and the Vikings missing the playoffs at 9-7, and it has to do with the defense is going to put a lot more pressure on that offense, and Mitch Trubisky and that offense got exposed when they had to play, and they have a harder schedule this year. They have to play more premier teams. Kirk Cousins, we all want to bag on him, but Kirk Cousins is a dynamo franchise player, quarterback, against teams 500 or worse. They play...
Right.
But here's the thing. Because he's also 0 on any Sunday, Monday, Thanksgiving, he can't win in primetime games, whether they're on a holiday, on a Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night. He's 0 on that, okay? They have a few of those this year. And Kirk Cousins, my thing with him is, I can't pick them to go less than 9-7 because 9-7, they're going to miss the playoffs anyway, but it's exactly what Kirk Cousins is. He's just good enough to tease you, but never good enough to deliver the actual prize to you, to actually finish the job. And his stats and everything are exactly why he got paid. The GM is not going to get fired for this because the statistics, there was other GMs would have paid him. The stats prove it. I said if you want to know why Kirk Cousins isn't a quarterback that I would bet on, all you got to do is watch the last 2 minutes of the first half and the final 4 minutes when he's got the ball at the end of the game. Enough said. Take the stats of it, watch that 6 minutes of all his games, and tell me whether or not you thought he should have been paid and be considered a franchise.
It's like a younger Matt Stafford.
He's not. Stop it. The Lions I have going 7-9, and it's all because the talent's there, but you said it yourself. You have no depth. And there is a 100%, 1,000% injury guaranteed in the NFL. Plus, you went through it yourself. Their coach is goofy. Their coach is goofy, man. And if your players...
The coach is definitely goofy.
If your players aren't... That's the difference. They could be a 10-6 team, and the reason why I'm picking the Packers to be 11-5, I have all kinds of questions whether I have faith as a Packer fan. As an analyst, I have all sorts of questions about their entire roster, Julius. I can sit here as a Packer fan and say, yes, I expect this based off of what I've researched.
As an analyst, but the questions never stop, really.
Right. As an analyst, there's legitimate questions because the proof isn't in the pudding. Here's why I say they're 11-5. When I watched this team play and practice and all the live feed stuff, there's two things that jump out at me that I have not seen in the last 5 years since that meltdown in Seattle. They are having fun, and they have energy. And a third kind of side note, these players are investing in each other, veterans helping and coaching. It's never been done under the Mike McCarthy. That right there gives me more of a solid ground to stand on, that these guys will pick themselves up because they have faith in each other, they are motivated, they have energy, they're having fun, and they're working together.
You're telling me that
it's about culture.
Matt LaFleur is the reason you guys are going to go 11-5 this year.
It's Matt
because
LaFleur.
That seems like it's all a product of this new culture he's brought in.
He's got
LaFleur and Patton have brought in that go in and do your job and have fun doing it, and it's really had all the team all the way down to practice squad buy into it. You can see it in camp.
It's big. I mean, it's not being talked about
So do
enough.
y'all think